Hello. This video we will take a look at the process of photosynthesis and some of the questions regarding it. So we have the first question here: outline the process of the photolysis of water and describe what happens to the product of photolysis. So we have to outline the photolysis of water, which is simply water breaking down to give us hydrogen and oxygen, right? So this is the general process, okay? And the outline of these points over here. But let us see what do they have to, what do you have to say if you want these 10 marks? Because 10 marks is not a joke, it's so much, so you need to mention, you need to pinpoint a lot of points. So you start saying photosystem 2 absorbs light, right? You know that photosystem 2 absorbs light. This is P700, right? P700 absorbs light. Enzymes in P2 involved to break down water, okay, into this and this. This is the light dependent stage, okay? You should remember that, the light dependent stage. And if you remember, maybe let me just find for you the diagram. So yeah, I found the diagram. This is the diagram here down. So as you can see, we have our photolysis in two stages. There is this photosystem 2 and then there is photosystem 1. Sorry, I did a mistake actually here. It was P680. Sorry for that. It's not P680, it's P680. It's always good to remember such data in terms of a diagram like this, okay? So you can just store this diagram in your brain just the way it is, okay? So we have our water breaking down into oxygen and hydrogen ions in photosystem 2, which is P680, and which is the first stage. Okay, then this 2H gains 2 electron, and it energy level goes up, and then again it breaks down. Again it comes down, and when it comes down it forms an ATP, okay? And then again it goes to the high energy level when it loses its 2 electron, and it gives us reduced NADP and the product, okay? But then the whole process, the whole reason for this process is the increase in energy level from here to here, okay? This is the energy level increase. But then it goes in this series of up and down. You should know that this is the product. This light dependent state is the production of ATP. It's not anything to do with the production of glucose. Okay, glucose is already produced in light independent stage. In this stage, we're just concerned about getting these ATPs, okay, and this reduced NADP. And then this goes into the cell membrane of the chloroplast, into the membrane of the chloroplast, to give us, as usual, to give us ATP. This is the same process as in photosynthesis. It's in respiration, sorry, the last stage, electron carriers. Okay, so you should note that. Now we come back to the photolysis of water. So it takes photosystem 2 absorbs light, enzyme in photosystem 2 involved to break down water to this 4H, 4 electrode at oxygen, okay? Oxygen is produced, as we can see here. Oxygen is produced, right? Then oxygen is used for aerobic respiration or released through stomata. So you say that there is 2H, 2O. It gives us two things. It gives us hydrogen ion, okay, and it gives us it also gives us this oxygen. Okay, now this oxygen goes into two places. Oxygen goes in aerobic respiration, okay, this goes in aerobic respiration, and then it also goes in, we're talking about this oxygen, okay, it also goes in, or is released in, it goes out through the stomata, okay, it goes out through the stomata. So the fate of oxygen is in two ways. It either goes out or it goes in aerobic respiration. Now let's see where does this proton go. Okay, proton used to reduce NADP. Reduce NADP. Remember that in animals we were talking about the hydrogen carriers in animals. In respiration, sorry, it was NAD. Okay, here we have NADP, right? And we can see in the diagram here down what happens. You see, in the photosystem, this proton goes and it reduces NADP, the same proton, okay? So you get a reduced NADP from the proton produced from the water, okay, as we can see over here. So I hope that's clear. Now that's the fate of hydrogen. That's the fate of the hydrogen ions or protons. Okay, reduced NADP in light independent stage, Kelvin cycle. These reduced NADP are again used in light independent stage. So you can see here that this reduced NADP will come and be used here. Where? Here, you see, this is where this reduced NADP are used. So you have to mention also that the reduced NADP, it reduces NADP which are used in light independent stage to convert GP to TP, GP to TP, triose phosphate, glycerate phosphate to triose phosphate. So you can just mention GP and TP. It's not much to mention the whole of the thing, but then I guess you get the concept that this reduced NADP from this light dependent stage comes and gets used in light independent stage, okay? And then electrons also used in ETC, okay? The electrons goes in electron transport chain to release energy for photophosphorylation to produce ATP. Okay, electrons go to P1, reference to restabilize P1. Now the electrons, we know, now this is the other thing from the photophosphorylation, which is the glycolysis. Maybe I should also get you the diagram so that you can. So yeah, I was finding for you the diagram. I got a diagram, but it's kind of blunt, but then I think it will make a point. We had this after the Krebs cycle, in normally the electron transport chain comes, right? And then here phosphorylation takes place, and you get from ADP you get ATP, right? Phosphorylation simply means from ADP you get ATP, and then you release your hydrogen ions. Okay, this is the electron transport chain, which I think is understood well. So that is the thing that they want us to explain as well. That they want us to explain everything about the products. Okay, we have this hydrogen ions formed, right? Or there will be also electrons formed, right? So where do the electron go, and where does the hydrogen ion go? And you should know that the equation actually, the equation given has 4 electrons. So this electron goes to the goes to electron transport chain, and they are used in photophosphorylation to produce ATP. Okay, and hydrogen ion, this hydrogen reduced NADP, which goes to light independent stage to convert GP to DP, glycerate triphosphate to glycerate phosphate to triose phosphate. Okay, and the other thing was this oxygen, which is used for aerobic respiration or released out of the cell through stomata. So we got that. And where does it take place? It P2 absorbs light, enzyme involved to break down water. So hope this is clear. I mean, the process just wants you to first explain the where does this reaction takes place, how does it take place. It takes place in P photosystem 2, where enzymes are involved to break down water. That's the first point. Okay, then you come to the second point, which says from water you write the equation. Okay, then you start giving the details of where does the oxygen go, what happens to the oxygen, this is what happens to the oxygen, and then the next thing is what happens to the hydrogen, and here you are telling what happens to the hydrogen, and then finally you tell them what happens to the electron, and here you tell what happened to the electron, and that's all. So this I hope you got how to answer this kind of question. Good luck to answer this kind of question, and thank you for listening.